Hello everybody, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to color grade and edit your footage like cinematic professionals. So I'm going to show you what I do step by step when I create my videos, and if you have seen my Instagram, you know it's popping. So I'm going to show you behind the scenes and what goes down and what the main things are and how you can shoot like a professional with these simple steps. So I've already opened up Adobe, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new project. So this project can be titled whatever we want it to be. English, summative, I can't spell. And depending on your graphics unit and depending on your computer, editing is going to be either an easy task or a very difficult task. And that's based off of your components. If you have a very good CPU and a very good GPU, this is going to be very, very easy for you to do. If you're like me and you have a MacBook Air with a dual core CPU and no GPU, you're gonna be in a little bit of a trouble. But our hope is, I've been editing on this for 4 years now. I've been editing 4K footage as well as all my footage that is on my Instagram. So this thing's a beast for the most part. I'm just very patient and you guys can make it work, don't worry. So our first step is we're gonna go to the editing panel at the top. So there's multiple panels here. There's learning, assembly, new collection. We're gonna go to editing. Editing is where we're gonna have all our effects, all of our timeline listed. And now we're gonna go to the bottom left square and we're gonna click on libraries or project English summative. You can also scroll through these with these two arrows right here and select your project and your file name. So we call it English summative and it's gonna be here. So now we're gonna go ahead and import the video files from whatever our hard disk is. So right now I have an SD card connected that it comes from my drone and it has all the footage that we need to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and do Command I or Control I for if you're on Windows, and I'm gonna go to my Phantom 4 file, go on the folder and import the videos I need. So this is my Jeep shoot and this is my Lamborghini shoot. So I'm gonna go ahead and import these files, and boom, my videos are now imported. The next step of what I usually do is go through the entire video, yes, the entire video, and see what clips I like. What I like to do is get as many clips as I can and choose the best of the best. I will not choose too many clips and make the video too long. I will go ahead and choose the best clips that appeal to me and would appeal to the viewers, and choose those and slap them together, and boom, we have our video. And a key feature that I forgot to mention is right here, this is where our timeline is. This is where our entire video is going to be created. As of right now, we have no sequence, and a sequence is the resolution of file and the frame rate that we're working with. So as of right now, we're working with a 1080p at 30 fps file. So we can create a sequence manually by right-clicking in this box here, new item and sequence. This will allow us to create a manual sequence. But for someone like me, what I like to do is to just drag and drop the clip into the sequence, and it'll automatically create the resolution and frame rate for us rather than having to complicate it. Alright, now that we've dragged and dropped our clip into the sequence, it has created its own sequence and resolution based off the file. So now we don't have to worry about going into sequence and doing some custom settings. So what I do now is I right click on the box over here, new item, adjustment layer. So this is basically going to create a layer above the video where we can add our effects. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. We're going to drag this and all the way across. We're going to drag and drop it onto the sequence. We're going to go to the right. You're going to see the right thing, and you're going to stretch it across both of the clips. I'm actually going to drag and drop 2 of these adjustment layers, and I'll tell you why in just about a second. When we color grade, I don't add the color grade effects to the clips individually. I add an overall color grade to an adjustment layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top, click on these two arrows, and we're going to go to color. And this is going to open up our coloring tab, and it's going to let us color our image. So I'm going to click on the first adjustment layer, and now based off of this image, I'm going to decide what colors I want to pop and what colors I don't. So I'm going to show you 2 examples of color grading. One that involves HLS secondary, where you do manual color grading, and another one where you use LUTs and filters to create your own LUT. Think of Instagram and how they have filters. The second option is going to show you how you can use those filters and how you can utilize them in Adobe Premiere Pro. So this first one is going to be a custom filter that we make on our own. For this shoot, I'll show you a photo on the screen right now. The colors red and black pop a lot, while green and yellow and all other colors were much more plain and desaturated. For the photos, we can tell that the black and red pop a lot. And I desaturated the green greens and desaturated a lot of the other colors, and I have to do the same for this here. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the first adjustment layer. We're going to go to HLS secondary, and now we want to desaturate our greens, which means desaturation means to basically make the color black and white. So we want to target our greens. So where is a video or where is a clip where we have a lot of green? So right here, we can see green on the left, green a bit in the background. And we're just gonna go ahead and click on the green right here. And now what it's done, it selected all the greens in the image to target. And we can check this by clicking on the color gray. And you're like, Abhijit, what the hell am I looking at? You're looking at a lot of confusing stuff, I know. But this is showing us what the computer has selected as green. So all these black bits, all these bits that are slightly selected and not fully gray, those clips have been selected by the computer and are recognized as green. But hey, that's not what we want. We want to get this green. So what we're gonna do when these buttons right here, these colors, these presets are not working, we're gonna go to these three droppers at the top, click on the one with the plus, and we're gonna go to our video and we're gonna add the colors manually. So this color green right here, this wasn't in the video, so I'm gonna click on it and boom, you'll see it move all of a sudden, and you're gonna go ahead and check it again by clicking on the color gray checkbox, and now you have your green selected. But hey, this is really weird. This is like computerized. So to counteract the very jagged edges, we're gonna go on the blur option here and put 5. And now what we're gonna do is gonna scroll all the way down, and right here you'll have an option for temperature, tint, contrast, sharpen, and saturation. So now whatever we've selected, we can now make it whatever color we want. If you look at the grass, you can see that it's now pink. Everything is changing color. Everything that's selected is changing color to what we want it to be. We're gonna go ahead and turn the saturation all the way down to 0. Now what you see is this right here is no longer green. Wow. What we're gonna do is gonna go back to the editing, and we're gonna select the clip. We're gonna select our blue. The blue are the clips. We're gonna select our clip, go on effects, and type in warp. As we type in warp, under video effects, we'll see warp stabilizer. This is an effect that's going to stabilize our footage for us. And we're going to drag it, we're going to click and drag it on top of the clips that you want to apply it to. I usually apply it to every single clip. So now once we've clicked on it, once we've selected our clip, we can go to the top left and click on effect controls. Now effect controls will let us control the positioning, the scaling, the rotation, opacity, anything we want. This basically lets us control the entire video and warping the image to create a more stable footage. So what I usually do is the smoothness is all that matters here. We do not want to mess with anything else. Nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. We only want to worry about the smoothness. I never exceed 50 because then it results in a larger crop as well as much more warping and artification of the footage. We do not want that. So now that we've applied the effect, you can see that it's much more smooth. Look at that. Wow. See, if your video is less shaky, the stabilizing effect has even more use and it makes it so beautiful. So now that we're done with this beautiful shoot I did with Ace Detailing, we're gonna go ahead and do our shoot with Premium Exotics. This was a beautiful Lamborghini. I also had a Range Rover and custom built Camaro, but since the Lamborghini is a widely known car and very expensive exotic car and very popular among a lot of people, I'm going to go ahead and use this footage as an example. I love seeing my footage for long endurances, but what we have to understand as filmmakers is that these clips are probably appealing to us because we've made them ourselves, but they're not appealing to the viewers and it does not retain viewership, alright? You have to make sure you're choosing the best of the best clips and sacrificing a lot of clips. I understand that you have 10, 15 seconds, 5-second video clips that are beautiful. They have to be cut down to 1 second or 2 seconds to ensure that we are on beat with the song as well as retaining viewership. And it's a huge sacrifice to make as filmmakers who are especially when we're so proud of our videos and we love it a lot. It's not the same for other viewers. They don't know what we went through. They don't know what we had behind, what we thought behind the scenes. They can't connect to the footage as well as we can. So we need to understand that we got to retain that viewership. We have to get the likes on Instagram and YouTube. So we're going to choose the best of the best and sacrifice a lot of this footage. So once again, we're going to go ahead to color tabs and we're going to go on creative. So creative has all the LUTs and all the filters preset in your software. So basically everything you download from the internet, a lot of these presets right here that I have about maybe a couple hundred or so presets. These are all downloaded off of the internet. These are all free presets you can get online. So we're gonna go ahead and go to adjustments, go to look, and I'm gonna add the Teal and Orange 2. And wow, that looks amazing, especially for the autumn vibe that we have going on. Since we've applied this to the adjustment layer, it is now applied across all of our clips rather than each individual clip. So once again, if you are going to be color grading, add these onto the adjustment layer, not to each individual clip. We're going to do what we did before. We're going to add warp stabilizer to all of this. So warp stabilizer on the first one, warp stabilizer on the second one. I usually have a limit of 2. I do not go above 2 or else my MacBook does crash. But hey, okay, the stabilizer was done. The effect is done, and let's see how it looks. Look at that. Look at that. It's super smooth, super clean, and it looks amazing. So now what I do is, now that I've applied the LUT overall to an adjustment layer, I go to each individual clip and color grade specifically for it. So for this clip, I don't feel that it's bright enough. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the exposure by 0.5. Alright, 0.5 is done. We'll go highlights, drag the highlights down a bit because, hey, this sun's going to get a bit too bright for me. Increase the exposure again. Drag the highlights down again. And okay, now I'm going to increase the saturation because I like the colors that are happening. But hey, you know what? This blue doesn't look good on the car. The car is white. I don't want this blue. And now we use our HLS secondary. We go to HLS secondary. And I did this for the shoot. When I use teal and orange, I usually get rid of the teal because the color grade on the other colors is so amazing that I forget that, you know what, this blue is actually creating a nuisance to my eyes. As much as this looks good, the blue is very distracting, especially since the blue does not look good on this white car. So what we're going to do is we're going to do HLS secondary like we just did. And now that we've selected all our teal, we're going to go down, we're going to go to saturation, and boom. Wow. Literally such a game changer in how that looks. That looks beautiful. Look at that. Now it looks like a show car in a showroom with white lights, dim lighting, and it looks phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful. What I do is I go ahead and drag a second adjustment layer like I mentioned before. In this adjustment layer, I apply the effect crop. And crop basically creates the effect or the image of having a smaller aspect ratio, a cinematic aspect ratio. So we're going to go ahead and put in crop. We're going to drag and drop that to our top adjustment layer. And we're going to drag down, once we've selected our adjustment layer that we've applied it to. We're going to go to top, and we're going to enter in 10. Go to bottom, enter in 10. And now we have these cinematic black bars. We're narrowing down the field of view and it's creating a more focused screen and viewing angle for the viewer. So now we have a much more aggressive video. We have a much more better looking video. But personally, I do like having the aspect ratio like this. It adds a lot more retention towards what you're focusing on and the object you have in focus. So this also at the same time lets us control how we center our object. I believe that this headlight and this front of the car should be more higher. So I'm going to select the clip and I'm going to go to positioning and I'm going to go to the one on the right and I'm going to go ahead and drag it up. Another benefit of having this aspect ratio is that now we can increase and decrease our height to an extent, of course, until it extends the black bar. And we can center our object in focus. Now our Lamborghini is much more in focus. It's in the center of the frame. And wow, look at that. And here is the final video.
ਸਭ ਸੱਚ ਵੀਰੇ ਜੋ ਜੋ ਤੂੰ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਬਸ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਸਾਲੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡੰਗ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਆ ਬੁੱਕਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਆ ਸੱਪਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਨੀਤੀਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਸੀਗਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੋਕ ਤਾਨੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਮਿਡਲ ਕਲਾਸ ਬੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗੇ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਪੈਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੱਜ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਔਕਾਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਬਾਈ ਆਖ ਕੇ ਸੀ ਹੱਸਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਬਾਈ ਉਹ ਤੂੰ ਗੇਮਾਂ ਦੇਖੀ ਪੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਜੋ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਜੁੱਤ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਜੰਗ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਤਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੱਲਿਆ ਮਕਾਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਉਹੀ ਹੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਰੀਤ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋਈ ਪੱਲੇ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਤੇ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਤੋਂ ਰੇਂਜ ਹੋਈ ਮਾਰਦੀ ਐ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਲੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਤਾਂ ਵੇਲੀ ਐ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖ ਜੀਟੀ ਰੋਡ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿੱਲੇ 'ਚ ਹਵੇਲੀ